welcome again. Thank you both for joining us tonight. I know it's very late for you, and I know this is also a fairly unusual format, so really appreciate you taking this time to celebrate our opening night of Currents. And of course, thank you for this wonderful, much needed film. You know, it's a film that manages to find humor and joy and community, a love of nature during the quarantine period. But it still holds on to this sense of loss that I think we've all felt over the past year and a half as well. And that brings me to the first and the last images that we see in the film, the sequence of slightly different sequences of dancing set to that Frankie Valli song. And I'm just curious if the film, if you knew you were always going to bookend the film this way.
No, we didn't. Was Maureen? No. No, we didn't, because are you hearing me?
Yes, yeah. Can everyone hear? Yeah, everyone can hear.
Good. It's not so late here, so it's a pleasure to be with you, even if it's this way. But in fact, we have planned to continue the film and go further than the day one. So we thought about having this dance with the crew in day one, but then we would go further and like day minus 5, the house empty before our arrival at the house, and even day minus 20, just a guy playing someone that was occupying the house before our arrival, and he was playing with the dogs around, and he was playing guitar. This was what we had planned, and then we thought during the shooting, no, the film should go from one scene of dancing to the other, and that's it. Now that the film is done, I think that the day minus 5 and 20, if we have done this, go to negative days before our arrival to the house, it would finished with a scene with the mammoths, you know, these mammoths that Carloto mentions in the swimming pool, these extinguished animals. We should finish with the mammoths, but we didn't have money to do this too. So,
so to backtrack a bit, could you talk about how this film became your first one as co-directors? At what point during the lockdown did you decide that you wanted to make a film during this period?
It all went very fast because I think the lockdown starts in March. We were working on a script together with more 2 people. And
of another film.
Yeah, another film. And when we finished this script in May, it was the moment where we were able to visit friends for the first time. And we went to visit Crista Alfaiate, the actress of the film, and we comment the situation of the artists, people from cinema, theater in Portugal. At that moment, I mean in Portugal, but I think it was the same everywhere. At that moment, we had no idea of the future. We had all our film project, show, plays cancelled. There was no support from the Portuguese government. In other countries of Europe, there were support, but in Portugal, there was no support. And on that night, we start to talk about doing something together. Let's make a film. Let's make it quick. let's make it fast. We have to do it now. We have to give work maybe to a small team, but to give work to some people. I was also pregnant, and so I knew I had not so much time to shoot the film before the baby was born. And so we decided, it was May, and we decided we had to shoot it this summer. We talked with our producers, not about the idea of the film, because we had no idea. We just had the very urgent desire of making a film. And in that very specific conditions, the only idea we had was, what kind of film can we make now? All the film are impossible. What can we do? Well, we have to lock ourselves in a house with a crew. We have to stay there for a few weeks, and we'll improvise a film with the condition that the COVID situation is imposing. And the producers said, that's a great idea, even if you have no idea. So let's do it. And 2 or 3 months later, we entered the house where we shot the film. We had no script. So when, for example, Miguel was saying about what we planned, it's what we planned in the 2 weeks before the shooting. We enter 2 weeks before the shooting with the script writer, and we start to work on finding a structure and finding situation for the film. We did have some ideas before entering the house about the film going backwards, about filming a kiss, about what else? Not much more ideas. And then we had 6 weeks inside the house to invent the film, to look at the place where we were, to wait for the wind, to look at the fruits, and to be with the people we missed for many months after the first lockdown.
And this desire to be with other people and to do what we used to do before the pandemic, in a normal way, more or less a normal way, also connected us or gave us the courage to make a film together, to co-direct, because we needed to give the example to the rest of the persons that were working with us. It was a collective work, and it should start by ourselves.
So you mentioned the kissing scene was pretty central early on to the film. Can you talk a little bit about why that was?
There's not much to talk about that. It was one of the things that was strictly forbidden, without manipulation. But two actors giving a kiss or having these very close, intimate scenes were, even it's like a very normal thing in cinema, it was suddenly taboo or forbidden. So, of course, we had the desire to do this, to do the forbidden thing. And we thought, okay, if we are in the house for some time, we guess that the risk of having a problem, a COVID situation, it will be lower if we are there locked for some weeks. So let's finish the shooting with this scene, with the kissing scene. And then I think it was then we had the idea, okay, let's do this diary and then let's put it backwards, because then we'll start with the kiss. And the kiss is like a symbol of fiction. It's something so normal in cinema, even if that with that context it was different. The context that actually still exists nowadays, but this is like our fiction is a kiss, and then we'll get rid of the fiction. It will still be a fiction, but it will not look like a fiction. But the fiction is a kiss. I don't know if this is understandable, but it was like this.
I think so. I'll open questions up to the audience in a minute, but I just want to hear more about how you decided on your central cast and this three-person dynamic. I know you've worked with Carloto Cotta and Crista Alfaiate before, but I believe João is a new face to your films, and so I'm wondering if you could just talk about casting and what it was like working with them and how they worked by themselves as well.
I mean, Crista was because she was in the beginning when this idea of making a film together popped up. She was there. It was because we were having a discussion with her that this film was born. So automatically she was in. Carloto, of course, is someone that we know well, and it's is a close to us. But we thought also that maybe we shouldn't have only people that we are at ease. So let's also bring some people that we don't know that, but we have seen. Them working outside our films, and let's bring these guys in and see what happens. And it was not like you see in the film, I guess. We didn't have some passionate discussions or theoretical discussions during the shooting, but I guess they were in a way thinking those some of those things they say in the film. So they were a little bit lost, I guess, because we were in the film as it was appearing to us, and we had a structure. We knew that we would have for instance, this construction of something. It was this butterfly thing, but we always wanted to have them constructing something, but we didn't have much more than this, and so it was a little bit the dynamics they were having outside the shooting that we
integrate.
Yeah, we integrate. It was very simple. In fact, I mean, if Carloto, for instance, was in one day he wake up and he was like silent. Sometimes he wakes up and he's silent. Some days he wakes up and he talks like hell. So if he was talking like hell, we would shoot them talking a lot. If he was silent, it would be more silent kind of scenes. So, we were, catching the things they were giving us, but it was not. It was very spontaneous.
We can turn it to the audience now. If there are any questions, just raise your hand. Yes. Okay, I'll repeat the question so everyone else can hear. And I don't know if you heard the question either,
No.
No.
Miguel. Okay, so I'll repeat it. This filmmaker mentioned that she made a similar kind of film during the pandemic around the same time. And she's wondering how soon after you finished shooting did you begin the editing process, and in what way did that period of the pandemic, whenever that editing period was, sort of affect the way you thought about your film? Is that accurate?
We edited the film right after the shooting. We shot in August until September. And I think 1 week after the shooting, we start editing, and we had to be fast because our daughter was born in November, and we had to, I mean, we could have continue editing after she was born, but our idea was to finish before. And so we edited the film in maybe 1 month, something like 5 weeks. It was also very fast because we didn't shot that much. We shot in film, and most of the editing was made during the shooting because we were, even if there was no script, we were writing the structure every day and thinking about what we had, what could miss for each day. So at the end, the editing was very fast.
Yeah, of course, when we make a film, I think every time we make a film, I'm talking in Maureen behalf. I don't know if she disagrees. She can say that she disagrees, of course. But I think when we make a film, even if we think we have some ideas and some like a glimpse of a structure, when it's something like this that is in a way worked out during the shooting, when we go to the editing, we understand more things about the film. And so during the editing, we thought about the film. We started to understand how the film was about being with other people. How the every scene, or almost every scene, is like a variation on the this clash between individual time, the time of each one, and like a collective time of all the people. And I mean, it can be about someone that is stealing the socks of the technician because you think it's useful for the character, so for the film, or it can be a discussion about breakfast. Many of these things we didn't invent them from our own heads. It came from what we were living, this experience of intimacy, of being together once more, and to because we were making a film but living together in the same place, in the same house. And so we took many ideas and many things. For instance, this breakfast discussion, it really occurred during the 2 days before the first day of shooting. It was they had this discussion. The guys that are discussing, they had this discussion, and so we thought, okay, this is maybe something for the film. And so the editing was the moment where we understood, maybe with a little bit more distance, in a more rational way, that the film was so much about sharing be with others.
We're running short on time, but we could squeeze in another question if there is one. Yes. Sorry, can you speak up? Okay. The question was maybe if you can talk a little bit about what your working relationship is on set as co-directors, sort of what that dynamic in it is as you're shooting and perhaps as you're also editing the film as well.
It depends on the day. But we have this scene in the film where we abandon the shooting. The actors are in the swimming pool, and we go in this field with Mariana, the scriptwriter, and we have this discussion about should we film the tractor or should we film an adaptation of a book. And even though we didn't have this discussion for real for the film, it's our characters in the film that are having this discussion. It's something that happen when you co-direct a film. Now you have to negotiate. So that's what we've been doing every day during the shooting. It went quite well. No, Miguel, what do you think? Yeah. But yes, we negotiate in the shooting, in the editing.
It was quite easy, I think. We didn't, there was not tasks for one and tasks for other. It was, it's a common film, and we'll discuss what to shoot, how to make the film. Of course, that in this shooting, I mean, the situation of this medical situation when by the fact that Maureen was pregnant, and there was the risk of premature birth at that moment, and so she was really like having a second lockdown in the sofa. So she was sometimes like 20 meters from us, but she was inside the house, and we were 20 meters far from her, and talking in the walkie-talkie. This was also real, so it was kind of silly, but it happened. And of course, this was a situation. The fact that she was she could not move. It in a way it impressed this shooting. It was something that was important and determine how we could work. But there was no, and it was quite easy. Sometimes we are, of course, we are living together, we are married. So I think that sometimes it's more difficult in our daily life to make this film. Making this film was more easy that sometimes living together and decide who is going to do the dishes or things like this.
Well, congratulations on your baby. We're out of time because we have another screening starting in here momentarily, but I'll give the floor to you for some final words. Usually we have the chance to hear you from filmmakers introducing the film, but yeah, before we head out, I'll leave you with the final word, if you have any. The
final words, it's a little bit creepy, no? But I will say cheers to you. I think that we are going to have a party for, no? I heard that, so cheers to you. We are kind of sad not to be there, to be with you.
Thank you. Sorry for framing it in a creepy way.
Thank you,
Maureen. Thank you for Miguel.
Thank you.
Thank you.